Christopher Cantwell, Cafu, and Angel Unzueta dive into Tony Stark's mind as the hero tackles the power cosmic, which transforms him from the inside out. But can the hero keep control of the power, or will it corrupt him like it did Korvac before him? Christopher Cantwell continues his just stellar run on Iron Man and gets introspective with Tony again as the hero sorts through his mountains of baggage as he transitions into godhood and into a state where that sort of baggage is trivial. I loved Cantwell used the transition to godhood in a way to test Tony and to see if he had changed his life or falls into the same pitfalls he always does, and it's nice to see that he pretty much immediately casts out the pain and trauma, citing it as kind of obsolete and kind of crappy pain and trauma to be actually having as a grown man. The hint at power corrupting was really great as well, and I'm looking forward to seeing Cantwell exploring that in the coming issues. Cafu and Angel Unzueta team up again for some just wonderfully trippy artwork that takes inspiration from the 1936 Mickey Mouse cartoon Into the Mirror, visualizing Tony's transformation into a god in a unique and creative way that isn't just him getting a power and being zapped by it and him just saying he's a god now, which funnily enough is exactly how Korvac is portrayed in this book, with him really not having any real idea of the power he has and thinking he does, and I like that sort of dichotomy the two had through the visuals. Iron Man issue 14 was yet another home run for Cantwell and his team, exploring Tony Stark's mind and trauma in a unique way and interesting way, as well as entering the next portion of the exciting Korvac saga. I'm going to give this issue a 10 out of 10. Iron Man issue 14 begins Tony recording to Boss and detailing the power cosmic and what exactly it is as the hero finds himself falling through space in his mind. Tony knows that he's never had a chance to study the power up close until now, planning on noting his transformation into a god. His body takes on an astral form, flying through space until it meets with a mirror. Tony touches it and the glass sticks to his finger like cling wrap. Pushing himself through the mirror, Tony lands in a house he knows all too well as it's his old Stark mansion. It's there he finds a child version of himself crying in a corner. Tony wonders if this actually happened, and he always felt like he didn't exist. A teenage Tony Stark appears, knowing that this is just after his parents' death, knowing that everything changed for him then, but then nothing did as well, as he was still alone and no one ever saw him. He knew from that day on he had to become something different as Tony grows in size, smashing through the house as he remembers drastically changing so people would now see him. Now dwarfing New York City, Tony knows that everyone sees him now, when suddenly he's shrunk down again, slamming into a table in the mansion where Captain America tells him he's got a phone call. Tony's father is on the other end, demanding to know why he hasn't changed the world yet, and he was so wrong all the time. Tony soon is confronted by himself, knowing that he always stands in his own way as he is smacked down into an old pile of Iron Man armors. Nearby, Unicorn tells Korvac that Iron Man is there, so he takes up his sword, demanding the being leave his multiverse as Tony thinks that he can't actually be the real Korvac. The hero is forced to duel the villain with a piece of metal he finds nearby, locking the blades with him as he knows that some of this isn't lost on him, and he definitely has father issues and childhood traumas, has lots of phallic imagery around, but he finds all this rather disappointing. He throws Korvac into a nearby black hole, hating all of this and himself, and he hates that after all this time, he still has all this basic trauma crap motivating him. He knows that he tried to strip it all away and to be the guy who just helps out, just like what Patsy said, but he's just the same old story and the pattern never changes. Tony blows up the little moon he is sitting on, knowing this changes today, and he's done feeling sorry for himself since with the power cosmic he can actually enact some real change, and maybe now everything can be different. Tony's friends and other heroes all appear before him, as he knows that some will freak out if he tries to take it too far. The heroes rush to stop Tony, but he easily obliterates them with power cosmic, knowing it's time for him to be in charge for a while. Tony stops himself, knowing that it wouldn't come to that, but he does have so many ideas to fix everything, starting with himself. Tony races back through the mirror, knowing that he needs to get back, finding himself so excited to begin the work. He knows his transformation must be almost done by now, and when he awakens, it will be in a brand new day. Tony returns to his body in the bed, intending on telling his friends that he is fine, but when they see him, they won't be so so worried since he'll just merely be their friend Tony Stark, but maybe just a little different. He awakens back in the real world as Korvac reconstitutes himself, proclaiming that he is once again a god. He knows that he had his doubts, but his faith will never be wasted on anything anymore, and he must acquaint himself to the universe, since the work is vast, but the healing can now begin, since his role as savior begins now. Iron Man in his brand new silver armor appears, confronting the villain and merely saying good morning to him.